Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and what we're about to go over is a dark reality that every once in a while a bit of light is shed on. And this dark reality is what enables things like Save Our Children to be utilized by disinformation artists, okay, and amalgamated into things that cannot be proven or completely false about systemic and massive child abuse that is covered up by law enforcement. And not only law enforcement, but other large institutions, okay, such as medical universities, as one example we're going to show you, and Hollyweird as another example we are going to show you. But when you have these things going on, and there are operations out there that reek of Epstein and beyond, well, you can't let the public know that. So you have to pull some strings, whether they be through local law enforcement, covering up for people they know in their community, or covering up gangs of these people that have gotten away with such things for long amounts of time. Okay? And that's the reality. And the thing is that when we talk about it here on this show, we're not in Fantasyville. We point to real things that really occur and examples you can show your friends and family that have not only been fact-checked, but there's litigation going through. And you can openly see the Dennis Hasserts of the world. Okay, you can openly see what the Anthony Wieners of the world have done. And again, they're only glimpses into the madness because I, for one, I don't believe things like, oh, you mean Dennis Hassert was only abusing children when he was a gym teacher and a wrestling coach? As he gained his way into the upper echelons of government and power, all the way up to the Speaker of the House, the longest serving Republican Speaker of the House at that time, I'm sure he didn't abuse anybody. Because child molesters, and he was labeled a serial child molester by a judge. Never did any time for any of that, by the way. Okay, I just want to point that out there. So if you believe that serial child molesters stop as they gain money and power, I guess that's your prerogative. I'll believe something else. Thank you. I'll believe something else. So what we're going to discuss today is just a very vague report, okay, that's now gone to the FBI, because we can always trust the FBI. They're not the cleanup crew. Go read the finder's documents. They're not the cover-up crew. What's going on with Epstein? Why did the FBI know about him back in 1996 from Maria Farmer and more than likely others and do nothing? Well, don't worry, because we have 768,000 documents and instances, apparently, whether they're all individual and the same, I don't know, because we don't know much about them, of child abuse covered up by the Louisville Metro Police Department over the years. Okay? So if you want to live in a fantasy world where these things just don't happen, that's your prerogative. But we're going to show you a lot of evidence right here and now that they absolutely 100% happen. And guys, make sure you're thumbing the video up, you're subscribing, you're sharing, you're joining the Burmis Brigade. Remember, 7+ months of demonetization right here. Okay? We reviewed the channel 6 months ago. We don't expect to hear much back. Why? We can't even get thumbnails reviewed on this channel. They didn't point to any videos. I don't get videos taken down for content strikes or community guideline strikes. Okay? That's not what happens here. We're not cyber bullies. We don't do fake news. Okay? We're not the Flat Earth channel. And that bothers people. You know, I've rebranded this channel, not news, entertainment. Not because I think that the stuff I'm talking about is quote unquote entertainment or infotainment or something that's, you know, spreading celebritard culture. Hopefully that, you know, I bring some level of that to the information that's very hard to go over with people, by the way. But it doesn't matter. It's not like it puts me in a better algorithm. Depending on what flavor of mainstream news that you might watch, that's probably what's in the suggested column right now as you watch this. Okay? So if you can support me, great. We do appreciate it. Please remember to rockfin, 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 rockfin. If I get kicked off of this platform, that's where I'm going to be. Go make your free account after the video. We're live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. In fact, the Friday show is still up there for free, completely exclusive. We put none of that on YouTube. And even the AMA from last night, if you missed it, that's got an extra 10 minutes because of my own jackassery. So you're getting a lot of exclusive content over there for free today. Anyway, we put those behind a paywall later on the premium, but you get the free show daily for like a 24-hour cycle. So please, I'm doing a lot of stuff over there that I don't think I can do on YouTube anymore. Okay, that's the bottom line. And it's not because I'm scared to say things. It's just there are certain topics that get me so emotional at this point that I'm not even going to risk breaking the Orwellian, authoritarian, selectively enforced policies on this platform. So again, please consider going over to Rockfin. Remember, I'm a documentary filmmaker. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are free right here, right now. Let's get into it. We'll read the whole thing. Okay? I'm sorry. See, I misspoke. My bad. Not 768,000 records. 738,000. My bad. Not quite 750,000. No big deal. No biggie. Where is this in the national news? Seriously. Why am I only seeing this story in the Louisville Courier-Journal? I mean, my goodness. Louisville Metro Police concealed at least 738,000 records documenting the sexual abuse of Explorer Scouts by 2 officers, then lied to keep the files from the public record shown. Now, you got to think about this. The 2 officers involved, and when you have the Explorer Scouts, you know what? That there is massive amounts of lawsuits now being filed. I think the cutoff date for a lot of these is in November, but there is no statute of limitations because the Boy Scouts and other groups that give you access to children are often rife with abuse. Now, if they're by 2 officers, how many times have we seen police officers linked to upper echelon people because they have access? No, that wasn't part of the Franklin scandal. Oh, wait, it was. Then lied to keep the files from the public record show. The Courier-Journal last requested all records regarding sexual abuse of minors by 2 officers in the Explorer Scout program for youths interested in law enforcement careers. So again, they're grooming them as their buddy. It's even beyond, right? Listen, I was never a Boy Scout. But I have one Boy Scout experience where my buddy, who was a Boy Scout, took me on a thing. It was a little bit weird, but the trip actually ended up being great. It was the first and only time that I went onto the West Point facilities. We went and saw my first basketball game. I saw somebody dunk for the first time. We took the tour around West Point. I saw, old nuclear weapons, all sorts of history, post-revolution, some Civil War. It was really, it's a good memory. I'm not trying to demonize those programs, but unfortunately, everybody isn't like my buddy Brian's dad. I knew Brian's dad because I used to, and shout out to Brian Steinbach if you're still out there. Probably haven't talked to you in about 30 years since we were like 10 or 11 years old. But I'd already spent the night there and spent time with that kid, and we knew each other. Unfortunately, people in authority with access to children, and then you take them to the side to these other programs. Oh, you're going to be a cop. You're going to be a police. Oh, this is what everybody does. Police officials and the Jefferson County Attorney's Office said they couldn't comply, insisting all the records had been turned over to the FBI for its investigation. Again, we should all trust the FBI. But that wasn't true. According to the records, the Courier-Journal recently obtained it in the appeal of its open record case. In fact, the department still had at least 738,000 records, which the city allowed to be deleted. Now, think about this. Are we naive enough, this is my point, to believe that those records that were found through court proceedings the FBI didn't know even existed. And if the FBI didn't know they existed, did they really do their job investigating what they got? This is the Federal Bureau of Information. The FBI. Come on. I mean, what la-la land are we in that they just missed almost 750,000 records on cops abusing kids through the Boy Scouts? Nah, it's too much paperwork. The records could shed light on when department and city officials first learned of the allegations of sexual abuse of youths by officer in the program and what the officials did or failed to do about it. Shocking. And again, these aren't isolated incidents. I'm just going to go over this quick, but if you look at this, we now over the summer, stuff I've missed, but we had 5 new lawsuits into the Reginald Archibald legacy of sexual abuse at the Rockefeller University Hospital. And we've gone over this horror show. And yes, they knew about it. And yes, they covered it up. And yes, they allowed it to continue on and on and on and on and on. Okay? And just like we talk about Hollywood, the thing is the media even softens some of these stories up, right? Like, look at the headline here. How a registered sex offender thrived in Hollywood. What? A sex offender? Look, man, you get right down here, the first charge, and Lord knows what he did before this, when Kimmel was 43, 2 years older than I am, involved sex with an underage girl in New York City, according to the criminal complaint obtained by Variety from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Kimmel had vaginal intercourse with the girl 5 or more times in 2003 when she was 15 years old. And it continues from there. Listen, that's not a sex offender. That's a pedophile. That girl can't drive yet. She is a teenager that's barely in her high school years. Okay, but even with these exposés showing, how this guy just kept doing it and getting away with it and just thrived in Hollywood, no big deal, blah, 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 whatever. Why is it sex offender? He's a kiddie rapist, okay? And there's a culture of kiddie rape in Hollywood. Isn't that right, Kevin Spacey? Isn't that right, Bryan Singer? Even Harvey Weinstein, who's doing prison time, has a couple of allegations of girls who are in their teenage years, not yet 18, I believe 16 and 17 at this point. One's a model, and there may be even a girl, and again, don't quote me on this, I might get this one wrong, that's as young as 15. So let's act like this isn't a rampant thing. But again, watch how it's used. And this is why, once again, guys, we go over the facts, and we don't interject, stories from message boards or rumor videos or look at this code here, right? The work's been done for us in many cases to show this absolute abuse, okay? Guys, we're demonetized here, 5, 10, 15. It means the world to me. Please, big donors, thank you so much. We got great donations yesterday from so many during the AMA. I think we're going to do an Operation Warp Speed watch along. I watched the entire 33-minute press conference. I want to kind of go over the good, the not so good, the bad, the ugly, and the even worse of that. That was a tough watch, guys. And it's like 33 minutes long. If we end up doing the broadcast, it'll end up being over an hour. Make sure to Rockfin. Guys, in fact, I don't know. Is that going to be a Rockfin exclusive? Should I just do that one on Rockfin? I got a lot to say about it. But we'll probably do it on YouTube too. But still, Friday's broadcast only on Rockfin. Go sign up for free. A lot of people get confused. The premium stuff's behind a paywall. It's a Netflix for creators that, allows you to, give out free material. So think about, you would have a YouTube premium subscription. All the premium ones would be there, right? And you get everybody. It's the same thing here, only it's for free speech. And you can still give away stuff for free. And that's why we're live, free and exclusive, only at Rockfin. Get that free account right now, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Check out the documentary films. They're free in the playlist section. Guys, obviously today's subject matter was not about Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, or liberals. It was about exposing the abuse of children, okay, in all of its forms. And I'm hoping that my entire audience can come together on that. I absolutely love you guys, and I will see you on the flip side.